At the end of the show, you said something funny. We know nothing about football.
We thought we knew.
We thought we knew. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're recording?
Yeah.
All right, first of all, before we start this conversation, Osi.
Yep.
Welcome to the Osi and Jason podcast this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. Why is it so dark? I can't. It's like my eyes hurt.
Why are we changing it to that? What happened? What's going on?
It's just this week. Sometimes you got to change it up. It was only Jason and Osi.
If we're in the green room or if we're on the show and I sit in a different way, you lose
I take it back. I take all this back.
And now we're good. Like, what are you doing?
Bro.
What are you doing?
Everything I said, I take back. Welcome to the Jason and Osi podcast.
There we go.
Simon, who is the mysterious figure in the back, has a booster shot today, Osi.
Yeah, he's got to get one of those.
So as soon as we came in, he's like, hey, fellas, let's get the party started, because he got a booster shot.
Yeah, he's got to go get a booster shot.
Yeah. It's not about, hey, let's get it started, because Osi has something to do.
Yep.
Jay Bell got something to do.
It's all about Simon.
The greater good of society needs us to get it done.
Yeah.
No, it's about his booster shot.
He's got to get his booster shot.
Which could be the greater good of society also.
Maybe. There's a point. Could be.
I kind of made that happen. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing well.
Good.
I'm doing well. I was enjoying the conversation we were having earlier.
Okay.
About people attacking me, I guess, on Twitter for some of my beliefs or some of my thoughts.
I think they were not necessary. I don't think they were beliefs. I think they were thoughts.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
Right.
You can correct me.
Yeah.
But I think they were thoughts.
They were thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah. Legitimate thoughts that I believe that we should ask, questions that should be asked. And, people don't like that sometimes. You know what? For people that didn't watch Saturday's show, Osi was making comments, and please correct me. Mm-hmm. He was doing what we do on this podcast, which is asking questions. Yep.
Asking questions about the Aaron Rodgers situation, how he handled it, and how people viewed him. Would that be correct?
I would say asking questions in general. It wasn't even necessarily even about.
It wasn't about him. You were using
Rodgers.
that story to ask questions in general.
100%.
This is why I love the podcast, and this is why I think it's necessary in our lives, and I think the people that listen to it. The lack of long-form conversations where you can really narrate your thoughts as you go along, right? And as many times as we've been on here, I've changed the way I've thought about something in 15 minutes.
Yep.
15 minutes, I'm like, dang, Osi, I didn't think. Okay, let me revisit this, you know. It's the same way we talk about social media. It's the same way we talk about just reading articles and not reading books. It takes time to flush these things out.
Okay.
And I think on our show sometimes, because especially a 30-minute show, it's not time to flush out things.
Yep.
And if you don't know how your mind works, because you haven't been privy to that, you miss exactly how deep you're going.
Yep.
And how you're starting to make people think, because that's all it is, make you think. I don't think people want to think, Osi.
I think not only do they not want to think, here's what I've come to realize about myself. And you should know this by now. Everybody in here should know this, right? I don't care.
No, you don't. I mean, you care about your people in your life that you care about, friends and family, but you don't care about outsiders.
That's their problem. It is. It's their problem.
Does that make you powerful? I think that makes you very, very powerful.
It's not only that, right? I think that the thought process, because I don't just, the one thing that I don't do is just say things just to be saying them, right?
That's
Every
true.
single thing that I've said.
You're actually very quiet.
I've thought through it. Most of my time, Jason, realistically, is spent just thinking.
Yes.
Just spent thinking inside my own head.
I'm talking, you're thinking.
Just thinking. I go home, quiet. Why am I quiet? Thinking, right?
Yes.
So when I come out and I say something, right, it's because it's been thought through.
Yes.
Now, if you decide to challenge that, right, cool. But all I want you to do, right, is challenge the facts, not the emotion.
Yeah.
Challenge the facts.
Yeah. Some people can find different facts too.
Challenge the actual fact.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And if you're able to do that,
then it's cool.
we can have a conversation.
Right.
Other than that,
Right.
scream, yell, boo, whatever you want to say, cool.
Yeah.
What exactly did I say on the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had COVID.
Yes.
I recovered from COVID.
Yes.
All the science is telling me that a recovery from COVID is as good, if not more effective than shots. Not all the science, but there's equal amounts of science, right?
Yes.
There's equal amounts. As many people who are saying this, and I'm talking about professionals, are saying the other thing, right?
Okay.
That being said, if I have a natural immunity to from having actually had COVID before, should I have to take shots just to be able to go to work, right? Now, if you've never had COVID before, right, you 100% should take shots. You should get the vaccination because you've never had this before, right? Yep. But if you have been exposed to it, should you now, after recovering from it, have to take the shots to be able to work? It was a simple question.
Yeah, that's what you were asking.
Get angry, you can scream, you can yell,
you weren't even saying your opinion, you were just asking the question.
Should you have to do that?
Yeah.
If countries,
right, certain countries.
Israel, I'm talking about like
names, just certain countries.
It's out there for you.
Yeah, I'm just
right. If these countries are allowing you into their country based upon you proving you've recovered from COVID, what is that telling you?
Right.
Like, really, what is that telling you?
I will say that
they believe.
I will say that one thing, and this probably it doesn't even have anything to do with this conversation, but obviously different countries have different ways they handle different things. So it is kind of like wherever you are kind of subjected to that rule. But I'm with you.
You know what I found?
I'm with you, though.
You know what I found also? The NFL itself, right? Aaron Rodgers now, right? Having recovered from COVID, right? He doesn't have to test for 90 days.
Yeah. I will say this about the NFL, OC. Great point.
No, but
great point.
Why does he not have to do that for 90 days?
Because he's got the antibodies.
But I'm crazy for asking that question.
You're just.
I'm not saying you said that.
Yeah.
But you saw the reaction.
I wanna make sure we peel back because I want to focus on the reaction and all of that, not necessarily this conversation because it is polarizing. But it just amazes me. It just makes me very aware of how hard it is and difficult it is, and you have to make sure you have the platform to have these conversations where you have time. And you know what? There's things that you've really cared about, that you've been on the news or something, and if they don't give you the time to kind of flush it out, you're like, why are we talking about this?
Yep.
Because you understand the importance of the time to get your point across or to make sure they understand exactly what you're asking.
No, Jason, no. And here's the thing. It's not even about having the time to flush things out. What I just said now is exactly what I said on the show. It's about people listening. If you don't want to listen, that's one thing.
So do you think they just shut off as soon as you say certain things because it's polarizing?
It's a polarizing subject.
So they stop even listening.
They're like, boom.
Everything else you say is just...
It doesn't even make any sense. Because you see that there's some people who are like, what are you talking about? He didn't say that.
Yep.
And then there are other people who are like, whoa. So you realize that people just aren't listening.
They turn it off.
So it's not even about having time to flush things out. It's a polarizing subject.
Yeah.
And people aren't going to listen. There's some people who are going to be like, okay, I get it. And there's some people who aren't going to listen at all. And you just have to be willing as an individual to step out there, bro. Like, and I'm willing to take those risks. I
learned something right now. And what I learned is, and I think I'm already aware of this, but let me check myself. If I'm having a conversation with you, it's very easy for you to say something that I don't agree with for me to listen through. I'm not even gonna, it's everything. You might say, this is blue and I think it's black, but everything you say after that, I'm listening because it's safe.
Yep.
I wonder how good I am with that outside of conversations with people I feel safe with.
Yeah.
I don't.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the point is where I stop listening.
Yep.
And now what you just said made me go, now I'm aware, and I'm going to, when I'm in those situations, I'm going to check myself. And if I stop listening or I start posing judgment in my own mind, I'm going to immediately stop to see, because there's so much I could be missing.
Yep.
Like there's so much of a conversation I've probably had with somebody that they said something I don't agree with, and I just stopped.
Check out.
I just
checked
checked out
right away.
So now everything they said, they might have said some things. Now they might not have changed my opinion, but they might have made me look at things differently.
Yeah.
You know, I might still stand my ground, but I haven't even received that information because I'm done. I guarantee I've done that.
100%. 100%.
Guarantee I've done that.
100%. I had to learn not to do that, and it's like it's hard.
Is this why that's how you conduct yourself in meetings and stuff? Like
I just listen.
Yeah.
I just sit there because I want to hear everything that you say before I just start talking, because I'm sitting here and I'm listening, and like you said, that does happen because we all have our own opinions, right? So I have my opinion.
That's cool.
Yeah, you have your opinion. We all have it. So the minute you say something that might go contrary to my opinion, I know that your natural reaction, my natural reaction is to be like, so I'm listening now to answer as opposed to listening to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's a completely different thing.
Yes.
So now that's why I sit there like that. I sit there and I'm just listening, and I want to make sure that I have everybody's full viewpoints.
Yep.
And then I respond. And so when I respond, I'm responding on I'm not responding on the emotional level, right? I'm responding because I'm like, I've heard what you said.
I've seen you do this.
And I'm giving you exactly what I feel like the answers are to what you said.
You're engaged in that conversation.
Period.
And you're not bringing it, even though you have different perspectives, different ideas.
Yeah.
You bring them into where they're relevant in that conversation, and not just let that dominate or lose focus on what the conversation that's being had.
100%. And Jason, you know something else? You know something else, Jason? And this is true. I've come into to a situation with one thought, right? And based upon the conversation, the answer that you're giving me, I've changed my mind instantly.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about, and I thought I knew what I knew. But just based upon what you're saying and listening fully to what you're saying, I'll be like, oh, that actually makes sense. And I'm not gonna
fluidity of thought. I love it.
Boom, quickly.
Yeah.
But you just get so many people just get stuck in one way of thinking, in one thought, and they just dug in, and they just refuse. They refuse to change their mind. Oh, you can be presenting real facts. They refuse to change their mind.
If I could get better at this, I swear to you, bro, this is my agenda for 30 days.
Yep.
Every time I feel like I am in a verbal confrontation, I'm going to check myself at the door. Because that is me. I'm the one perpetuating those thoughts on myself. Nobody's threatening me.
Yeah.
But if the conversation feels like that, I'm going to immediately say, now you need to listen. Now is when you really need to engage. And it doesn't happen a lot, but it will.
Yep.
It's not something I do all the time because I am kind of, for the most part, like, all right, I'm here to listen. But when that does happen, I'm gonna really test this because I know I'm shutting the door. I'm slamming it, bro. I have to be. Because when you see people and how they react to things and they don't hear the whole statement or what is trying to be said, it's because at some point they've closed the door and they haven't tried to listen to exactly what you're saying or your point of view. Because it's easy to do that. It's something funny. And I wasn't even trying to connect this to football, but I just was thinking, like, we did our show. It's coming out tonight, obviously. And what do we say on there? At the end of the show, you said something funny. We know nothing about football.
We thought we knew.
We thought we knew. We don't know.
Yep.
And you look at these scores. You look at all of these upsets.
Yep.
Right? Upset week. All the thoughts. I mean, I was 0 for 3 on my picks. If and what do we say? Man, this is why we watch the games.
Yeah.
This is why every weekend we're engaged. Why are we not that way in the conversations we have? Why are we not that way in our viewpoints and opinions? Why do we think we always got it figured out? Maybe it's an off week. Maybe you don't know. You got to be in the game, in the conversations of life. You got to be in the moment. You have to listen to people. You don't know how it's going to shape shift. But we love that uncertainty about sports, right? We're cheering, we're doing everything. We love that and uncertainty that, man, we got a chance. Well, we have a chance in life, and we have a chance in our relationships and things like that if we listen and we don't think everything's attacking us personally. It's just something. It's so, I love the correlation between sports and life, and that's one of those that just hit me. It was like,
it's funny, ain't it? It's like sports is like a real microcosm of life.
It is. It's like, bro,
same things.
These dudes are out here making it happen. Things are happening. Things are shifting and moving in the game. Like, imagine you're a coach and you're just stuck in your ways, and you're like, I'm gonna play like this. And somebody says to you, hey man, Osi's knee, he not coming off the edge like that. I know he's our guy, but it ain't his day. No, you're attacking me, you're this and that, or I don't hear what you're saying. No, I'm telling you, Osi not gonna tell you his knee is hurt because Osi's tough, but we're not getting pressure, and them boys can't cover. We got to figure something out. You know, information is missed because your opinion is set. And it will impact your success in whatever the circumstance is.
Incredible.
Yeah,
incredible. I want to get to something else, but I feel like we should talk a little football first, and then we'll get to this last part. So please, do you have anything for us, football-wise?
I mean,
por favor.
I mean, we don't have to do anything. We can go whatever. I mean, I guess the one thing I do want to say is, football-wise, is upset central. I mean, and the one thing about football, to this point of what we were just talking about, is this year, obviously the best record is Arizona. Who knew they were going to win like this without Kyler Murray? I couldn't have called it.
That was crazy.
Couldn't have called it.
That was crazy.
Right? We get on Cliff Kingsbury.
And DeAndre Hopkins.
Both yes. And
J.J. Watt.
And J.J. Watt, yeah. So you look at them. We've got on Cliff Kingsbury before, but obviously what he's doing, the way James Conner played, Colt McCoy, you're just like, this, okay. It was a risk getting him as a coach. It was a risk. And then you look at everything else, man. You look at the upsets. And the only thing I could think about is your Super Bowl year when I was on IR, 06, 07, 08. And I thought, man, the NFL is all about getting better and peaking in the playoffs. Being healthy as you can be, being as good as you can be. And the one football nugget is self-scout, which Osi and I know is you scout what you do. Any tendencies you have as an offense, as a player, anything, as a defense, you have to know what those are because the great teams are playing those tendencies. And what you're seeing now is tendencies be exposed. And the teams that adjust to that from coaching and players, this is why smart players last. To your point earlier, you have to be open. You can't be stuck in your ways. You have to receive the information given to you, and you have to adjust. You can't have any preconceived notions on what you think. You got to go and be in the moment and adjust to that. Those teams are successful in the playoffs.
100%. You know, when that Arizona game, I got to say it surprised me 2 ways, right? Number one, I found out just how good of a coach Cliff Kingsbury was, right? Because a lot of times we think that players actually make things.
We give them a lot of credit, don't we?
Give players a lot of credit. We really do, and rightfully so. Right? But what this man did with not an empty barrel, but his barrel halfway full. They dominated. I mean, they dominated that football game.
Man, they did.
They dominated that football game.
Yes, they did.
Well coached, well executed, with Colt McCoy and James Conner, and they didn't have the receiver. It's
is it James or James Conner? Am I messing this up?
James Conner. Yeah. John Connor is the Terminator.
Yeah, but that's why I wanted to call him that.
Yeah, John Connor is the Terminator. He runs like it.
Yeah.
I can see why you would say that. Yeah.
They had 163 yards rushing compared to 39 from San Fran. And San Fran's supposed to be the running team.
Now, we need to talk about San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, we really need to have a conversation about San Francisco. Outside of 2019.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Outside of 2019 where they made the Super Bowl.
Yep.
This team is like 19-37. It's like they have a serious losing record here, right? But for some reason, because of the coach, who we like
him,
and we think that this guy is is a genius, right?
Yeah. We're giving him a lot of credit.
We give them a lot of credit, Jason. If this was anybody else,
we give him a lot of credit.
If this was anybody else, Jason,
we'd be on him. We'd be on his head. We'd be on him.
Not only us, everybody.
Yeah.
But we've all cut this guy some slack.
Yep.
Oh, they've had injuries here and they've had this there, and everybody has that, no?
Yeah.
A lot of people are dealing with that.
Yes, they are.
And this team.
We just said Arizona.
This team is struggling.
They betted the farm on Trey Lance, too. They betted the farm on him. I wonder, Kyle Shanahan, he's got his hands kind of in the upper management role. Not totally, but, you know.
Because Lynch is there.
Yeah, Lynch is there, but Kyle brought Lynch in, right? He was.
They were tied together.
Yeah. Or Kyle was there first.
Was he? But
No,
I think they came together.
Kyle was the first hire, and then I think Lynch was after, but I think it was the same year. Yeah, we got to fact check that, Simon. Just like you got to get that booster.
They both signed like a 6-year deal together.
Yeah. Oh, recently. Yes. Yeah.
Extension.
Yes. They signed the extension together. I'm sorry. Correct. I wonder if that's kind of throwing off where this team's direction is. Because the GM's supposed to plan for the future. Coach is supposed to plan for today and handle today. And I just look at it. Like, you look at Jason Verrett, the corner they got. He's a great corner, but he's always been hurt. Hurt again. It's like, you can't really depend on that.
Yeah.
Like, every year at some point you got to say, we got to go with dependable players because it's not working. That's why they drafted a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt.
Always hurt, yep.
So, and you're right. I'm looking at a team that even though they're down, they have injuries, they're supposed to be a physical running team. They're supposed to be schemed up correctly by Kyle Shanahan.
It ain't happening.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening. And truth be told, love the kind of coach he is.
Yeah.
So I'm still leaning for him to have success. Yeah. But at what point?
No, it has glossed our eyes over.
Yeah.
The way we feel about him personally.
Yeah.
It's glossed our eyes over.
And I still got that Atlanta in when he was the coordinator. I'm still feeling that.
The way we feel about him personally, and I think everybody, because he's universally liked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People like him.
Yeah.
He's very well respected.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
John Lynch. Love John Lynch.
Yep.
Very well respected.
Yep.
Right?
Like those guys.
Right? And so because of that, we like.
Yeah, we're not giving them a hard time. Look over there.
Guys. It's our guys. Let's look somewhere else. They'll get it together.
At some
point we gotta start calling them out, J Bell.
Man, if this is a shaky year and the NFC West is tough, they could be at the bottom of that easily.
Yeah.
I mean, they are now.
And they're not going to get fired. They're going to be there for a couple of more years, regardless of what happens. Which is something that nobody gets this kind of leeway. I haven't seen this in the NFL. I haven't seen this kind of leeway in the NFL.
I have one more thing for you.
Yep.
I want you to tell me. And we kind of already talked about this, but I want to know what you really feel. Who do you want taking the snap? Game's on the line. You need a play. Quarterback. Who are you rolling with?
Game's on the line.
You need a play. Game.
I need one play.
It's tough.
Because if it's just one play, I can give you my answer.
Who's one play?
One play?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
What?
One play.
Oh, because he's a one-play master.
You said one play.
Yeah,
That's what you said.
Yeah.
One play,
drive.
Russell Wilson.
Drive. Or comeback. Needs to mount a comeback. You need to mount a comeback. You need to mount a comeback. I know I'm giving you 17 different questions, but I've now focused into one. Please listen to me the way I would listen to you.
I need to mount a comeback.
You need to mount a comeback. Your guy has to bring you back. You're the coach. You need a guy to bring you back this year at this time.
This year at
Just
this time.
at this time where we are in the season. Not overall, forever. Right now. Specific to guys playing.
Lamar. Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. What he's demonstrated this year.
Woo.
And you said this year.
Yes.
Look how excited you are. You said this year, right? And
with Lamar, you'll go far.
I mean, that you cannot deny what this man has done. Like, you'd be a fool to do that.
Yo.
You'd be idiots. What this man has done this year.
Bro.
He has, well, him and his coaching staff obliterated the narrative.
Shot it
down. Because before it was, okay, you get up 2 touchdowns on these guys.
They can't do what they do.
They're finished. But now you get up 2 touchdowns on these guys, he's going to sit back there and he's going to dissect you.
Say, welcome.
Nothing you can do.
My name is Lamar.
And I hate to go back to what I said at the beginning of this year. They hadn't even played a snap. And I told you, this is what they have to do with this guy.
Yeah.
And if they do this with this guy, he's going to become unstoppable. And they did it. It's almost like they were listening to this podcast. Chris, you think they were listening to this podcast?
How many listens do we have in
Baltimore?
In Baltimore.
Can you check and see? Yeah, can you check and see, Simon, at the beginning of the year, what our podcast listings were?
And who
from Baltimore?
And exactly the IPN. What was the IPN address?
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
Yeah, something. Yeah. Because they did. They weren't doing this these past couple of years, J. Bell.
Hello?
They did exactly what I said
Osi
they had
you're
to
looking
do.
for?
And they did it. They're succeeding.
Because he sees it in Lamar's eyes.
Yeah, 50. They're going to have to give this man $55 million a year. The owner, Steve Biscotty, he's going to have to give him his wallet.
Walletto?
Yeah. He's going to be like,
he going to come out with the mariachi thing that Ramsey has and just give him.
Here you go, sir.
Bro.
Incredible.
Bro. I like watching stuff that happens kind of around the field. You see at the end of the games how Harbaugh just like hugs Lamar.
He hugs him like Oli. Oli gonna score. How'd you say his last name? Solskjaer. That's how he hugs Ronaldo. After Ronaldo bails him out, he gives him a hug. That's how Oli does it. And you're right, J. Bell.
That's how I hug you every time we have to do live TV when it's over. Thank you, Osi.
Thank you, sir. It's incredible.
Especially when I know they're gonna ask a hard question and I kick you under the table. If y'all ever see me and Osi on a live television news or something, they ask a difficult question directly to me and Osi answers, you know what's going on under the table.
Give me a little kick.
It's the double tap. Or it's the subtle shoulder look. I look at Osi and he just gives me like the wink, like, don't worry, I got it. They directly ask me, so Jason, what do you feel about this? And you hear Osi come in, well, what's happening is da-da-da-da-da. That's basically what happens, and he gets the hug after the game.
Yeah.
What he's doing, he just beat Michael Vick's all-time rushing record as a quarterback.
Yeah.
This dude is the best. You know, like when you play youth sport, there was that guy. Yeah. He's just put him anywhere. He's the best. That's what he looks like in the NFL. Kyler Murray got that in him too, though. But Lamar just makes it look different.
Yeah.
Man. I mean,
high level.
He makes it so entertaining. And you're right. They're going to have to back up the Brinks truck. Do they have Brinks out here in this country?
Of course, I think they do have
Would Brinks be no? Simon's looking like a confused middle-aged guy.
What do they have here?
What would you take?
The armored trucks.
The armored trucks where you back up the money from the banks.
They don't have those out here?
I've seen them, but I don't know if they're Brinks. But I've seen them.
No idea.
I think I've been profiled by them before when I walked by. But
you thought you were gonna rob them? Like what?
Nah, they just looked at me because I'm looking at them very suspiciously. Like, why y'all got all these vests on? And I'm like, oh, you got the money truck. But they're gonna have to back that up.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to back that up. When I was on my way over here, I seen it's funny you say that. I saw a scuffle
Okay.
coming off the train. I saw a scuffle.
Was it a scuffle or, I hear they call them kerfuffles.
A kerfuffle?
It was a kerfuffle.
There were no punches thrown, but it was chokeholds being attempted.
That's why it's called a kerfuffle.
Then it was a kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle. Kerfuffle.
Yeah. There's too many K's and F's where you can mess up in that.
Yeah,
so I need to stay away from that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I could. I'm gonna stick to scuffle.
Okay.
For just purity reasons.
Okay.
But I seen it, right? And they're on the ground. What fooled me is they both look like they were security guards that got no argument. So I couldn't even see their heads, bro. They just locking. But what was the whole point of this is everybody's like looking and frantic.
Yeah.
I didn't even pay I walked right by.
Yeah.
Like
that's because of the environment we come from. It's because of our environment.
I was like, that's their bit. What? And then I seen the police come and try to get them off of each other in a very nice way. Actually, when I see that, I'm always very happy to be here. It was very. I was in the middle of Leicester Square. So, but yeah, it was interesting.
It's funny you would say that because the same thing happens to me. Like whenever I see like people scrapping.
Yeah.
I'm just so unbothered by it, right? So unbothered by what's going on. Like,
it's just like,
because it was like almost a daily occurrence in training camp, right?
That's what I think about training camp.
Daily occurrence.
They just upset. They're gonna be all right.
The funniest thing to me is seeing like a scuffle, like a fight on camera, right? In training camp.
Man.
And seeing the guys on there, when you're like taking a knee?
Yeah.
And they're just taking a knee.
They just watching the whole fight. They aren't bothered by any of it. They don't break a sweat. They don't do anything. It's just like, yeah. They had to get it out. Oh man.
Hilarious, man.
That's
okay,
funny.
so let me ask you this then.
Yes.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
I've been reading a guy by the name of Thomas Sowell. You know who Thomas Sowell is?
Thomas Sowell.
Yeah. Sowell.
Okay.
Thomas Sowell. He's an economist.
Okay. Let me see if I know. Thomas Sowell.
Yeah.
All right. S-O-E. How you say it?
Sowell.
Oh, yes. Yep.
You know Thomas Sowell?
Yep.
Okay. So I've been reading this thing, right?
He's got several books out.
Yeah, he's got a lot of them, right? He's got a lot of them. But the one I've been reading is just the comprehensive...
I did read his book.
It's a comprehensive book on just him and his ideas in general.
Okay.
Right? And he said something that I found very, very interesting.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
This wasn't his idea, but he wrote a book about the idea.
Okay.
And he said that in a capitalist society, right?
Yep.
Like America or even here, right? In a capitalist society.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. He said that discrimination and racism, right, ultimately costs the person who's doing the discrimination more than it does the person being discriminated against.
Yeah, because if you are focused on purely capitalistic ideas, then you are excluding talent and other things like that and things that eventually will cost you. Customer base, all kind of stuff.
I found that interesting. I did.
Think about the talent gap. Think about the loss of productivity because of that behavior.
Yeah. So it got me thinking, all right? Remember back in the day when they didn't want black people like playing football and baseball and all these sports?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And then one of the owners was like, these guys are good. Brought them in, started winning. Now all of a sudden, it's like proliferation, right?
Okay.
So I got to thinking, why is it that seems to be the only place that this happens?
It's not the only place, but I see what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah, like what is it that like why is it that this seems to be like
one of the places?
Well, I would say the major place. Right? Because I can't think of any other industry, so to speak, that is outside of like music, entertainment, things like that, that's like dominated by,
A minority.
By a minority.
Yeah, because it all depends on where you are in the country, right? You're talking about the minority base of that country.
Yeah.
Got it.
So.
Okay. Now I'm following.
Yeah. So I'm like, why is it just exclusive almost to sports and entertainment and not like all these other industries, right? Like, what causes that?
There's a lot. That's a lot to unpack here. But on a surface level, when it comes to sports, the first thing I thought, and understanding the business of sports, is there's an immediate outcome of success or loss, and because of that, it's measured very quickly. So the life cycle of your decision making is shorter, right?
Quick.
Yeah, because it's like, I lost this year. Why did I lose? I need a better quarterback. I need a better this. I need a better that. I'll go look in the market. What's happening? How did my competitor outdo me? What are they doing better? Change this strategy. But it's condensed into this direct results of the season, right? When you think about a corporation, a company, all that data points, it's much easier to get now, right? It's there, but it's harder to maneuver and it's harder to adjust and it's easier to hide those things. If you have a way of C-suite hiring in your corporation and that's impacting your bottom line because you have a lack of diversity or whatever, how do you show that? How clear is that? And how are you able to articulate that? It's much easier to say, we don't have this talent and look what it looks like in sports. And then I look at the fan base and the pressure with that, which is, what do you want to do over anything in sports?
Win. So is it that...
That's just...
Yeah, I get that.
This can be a 50-hour conversation.
Yeah, it could be. But do we feel like the corporations and other people outside of these industries, the sports and entertainment industry, is it that they don't know that this is costing them? Or is it that they just don't care?
Corporations always want to make money, so they care about that. But how they do that and how their choice and how they pursue that is all different. I can't put them in one singular kind of thought because they all do it differently. I think in most capitalistic society, especially when you look at America, I hate to say it, but it is capitalism. But when you tear back the layers, it is run by corporations. They're the biggest lobbyists in the world. I mean, in America and the States, right? They're the ones kind of pushing certain legislation and laws and things like that benefit them. So indirectly, corporations are always going to do what's best for them.
So why would, and I don't even know, I'm just asking these questions in general. It's not like I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Like, these sports, the NFL, the NBA, like these are massive, big, multi-billion-dollar conglomerates.
They're still not Amazon or Apple.
No, it's not Amazon or Apple.
Well, as a whole, yes.
But why would they be so keen and so open to not discriminating, but apparently all these other companies are?
I don't know if all the other companies are. That is very generalizing questions because I don't know that.
Okay, what do we when there's this whole push for diversity, equity, inclusion, right?
Yes.
Who are they talking to then?
The decision makers.
Of what? Like of where?
High level decision makers. So usually corporations.
Corporations,
yes.
Right? So we can generalize then.
Yes.
Okay, but we for sure can't generalize and say this applies to the NFL and NBA and sports because it's not occurring in terms of like the employment opportunities there.
Well, they do say, and it is still occurring in the employment opportunities when it comes to coaches and front office stuff.
Good.
Yeah, so.
Why would it occur there?
Why would it occur in the front office?
In the front office, and why would it occur in the coaches?
Right.
Because in terms of like sheer financial obligation, you have a lot of players who are black, who are making a lot more money than your general manager and your coach.
Yeah, certain players definitely are.
So, so why would you discriminate there and not in the players who you're paying all that money to?
The players you're paying the money to impact your bottom line quicker than probably anything else.
So you'd rather you discriminate? You think that?
I don't know if it's.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
I don't. When you say discrimination in that, I'm losing you because I don't know if that's. It's not purposeful discrimination, right?
It's not.
I don't know what you're asking. Say this again.
Okay.
So you're moving fast on me.
No, not really, not really.
Okay,
I said this doesn't occur in the NFL and these sports leagues, and you said that they're saying that it does occur. That's what you said.
Yeah, people are fighting for it.
They're saying, yeah, exactly, right? So my question is, why would it occur at that level, right, and not the level where you're paying the most money? Like, why would that discrimination not occur in the players, but it occur in the coaches and the general managers who are getting paid considerably less than quite a few of your players on your team?
The talent is probably easier to analyze. The talent is quite noticeable, and you get a chance to decipher between choice A, B, and C on a daily basis. So maybe it's very clear cut on the talent.
Yeah.
Because it's exposed to whatever your process is on evaluating the talent.
Yeah.
Meaning if there's a decision to be made out of 3 people, it's really easy in a competitive sports environment to figure that out. I think it's harder in other situations.
I
think it takes longer.
It does.
I think when somebody fails you, you're like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
You know, I hired Jay Bell, or Osi Corporation hired Jay Bell. He's my guy. I thought he was good. And then he failed here. And then somebody looks back and they were like, look at all these little signs. And you're like, oh, I missed it. Because it wasn't impactful. I think in sports, those signs are right in your face. He can't cover.
Yeah.
Can't put him back on the field.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, we can say that it might not even be malicious.
I don't think a lot of it is.
Right.
I think listen, we're not going to change the minds of people that are doing things maliciously.
Yeah.
They're on their own ship. But a lot of it is purely based on what makes us comfortable. What makes us comfortable, we usually lean towards. What that ends up looking like is discrimination.
Got you.
Because if I do everything that makes us comfortable, that makes me comfortable, and everybody around me does things that I like or I'm cool with, it's going to look one way.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about your skin color, but the way you behave, the way you talk, the way your whole vibe. It has nothing to do with you'll be like, all these people are like Jay Bell, right? Because I'm comfortable with that. But that's not helping. I need to be challenged. I need different viewpoints. I need all that to make sure I have a successful venture at whatever I'm trying to do, right? And I know that, so I would go and I would approach it that way. We talk to Simon, the middle-aged guy over here who uses a booster shot all the time about that. You know, is he even middle-aged?
Yeah.
He is? Okay.
Yeah, he's middle-aged. He's still got like couple of more years before he's an octogenarian.
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds good.
An old guy.
It sounds. I like that.
He'll probably be sleeping at COP 26.
I like all of this, and I don't even know what it is, but I think
COP 26. You know the little climate thing?
Somebody
fell asleep for like.
Do know.
Somebody fell asleep there.
They didn't really care with the conversations being had.
I was like, really? Really?
This is what we're putting out there?
Really? Oh, my God. God bless America, man. God bless America.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Diversity of thought.
Yeah. That's it.
No, I think you're right. I think that, yeah. Once again, be open to the conversation.
Yeah, just, dig.
Because as I leave this conversation, I am as lost as when I entered. I entered lost and left lost.
Still don't know.
Still not.
But you thought.
I thought
all the way through.
Definitely. But you know what? To your point on that whole kind of practice. I think because of that, I was listening.
Yeah.
I never had it figured out.
Yeah.
Not once. Now, in that whole thing, I never had it figured out. I just was like, I'm just talking, you know, safe space, just talking, trying to flush it out. But I never was like, this is what I think, boom, 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 boom. Not once. I didn't. Was that the lesson?
Maybe.
You are something else.
Maybe.
You
No, really. No, Jason, like I'm
Was
serious.
that the lesson?
No.
Did
like,
you just try to teach me?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
This guy went.
No, Jason, this is what I tried to do, honestly.
Wow.
This is what I tried to do. This is what I tried to do.
Just so wide open to get punched.
Seriously, no. This is what I tried to do.
Worked.
This is what I tried to do. I don't have the answers. I ask questions.
Okay.
Just so I can hear.
Yep.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just asking questions, and just so I can hear. I'm like, okay, maybe that makes sense. Maybe because I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay. Well, we've been going, but I think this. I wonder this question: do you think asking people questions just to ask makes them uncomfortable, to make them think that that's your opinion when you're just asking a question? Do you think that does that to people? Do you think that? I didn't even think about that.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I'm just
so you ask me a question. You might ask me, "Do you think this is this?"
Yeah.
And then if I'm defensive or I'm just not open to the conversation, I think he must think the other way.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's not good.
And
then you got
half the time I don't.
I know, but then you stop having the conversation. It's almost like you need to start the conversation out with people and say, "I'm asking you this question
because I don't have the answer."
Because I don't have the answer.
Right.
That might be something we need to try too.
Yeah. Maybe.
Interesting. Would you try that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think maybe that might be a better way of going about things.
That's
rather than seeming like I'm interrogating somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't feel interrogated, but I just thought about that through this process.
Yeah.
And I still sweat like I'm being interrogated, but I don't feel it.
You got to know you don't know, man. You got to know you don't know. Look at this. Look at us. I mean, look at us. Look. Have you seen what's going on inside your body? Like we don't know nothing.
Yeah. We just trying to figure it out.
We don't know nothing, man.
I hope I know more about football this week. Simon, you got to go.
He's got to go.
Get your booster shot.
Yeah, get out of here.
We out of here. The Jason and Osi Podcast. Please listen, rate, review, all that. Come to Osi's defense. Osi Defense Team. Hashtag Osi's Defense Team. Sign me up. Osi's paying for it, though. We out.